It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, 2 outstanding elementary schools here to play our game on the opening day of the elementary competition. Let's meet the teams right now. First, from Perrywood Elementary, say hello to Charles Kirkland, Alpha Gassama, and Bashkar Puri. And from Pointer Ridge Elementary, please welcome Rosanna Miller, Philip Torney, and Zina Egby. And now, here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our questions according to their difficulty, with the easier ones on the left worth 5 and 10 points, and the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 good-looking teams will go on to play in a quarterfinal match. So let's go over and make sure everything's working properly before we start. Let's go to Perrywood. We've got Panthers, both sides here today, the Perrywood Panthers and the Pointer Ridge Panthers. Perrywood, try your buzzer. Try it again. Push it hard. All righty. And good luck to Alpha and Bashkar and Charles. Philip, would you try your buzzer? Give it a good push. That's it. Looks to be in good shape. Good luck to you, to Zina, and to Rosanna. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's have a great game. May the better team win. We go alphabetically PE before PO. So Perrywood, start us out. Alpha, give me a category and a number.
Body systems for 5. Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, since it is said that your body trusts the sense organ even more than your eyes, it's a good thing they don't blink. Pointer Ridge. Yes, sir. Answer.
Nerves.
Again?
Nerves.
Nerves, did you say? No, not nerves. Perrywood, since it is said that these sense organs are trusted by your body even more than your eyes, it's a good thing they don't blink.
Ears.
Ears, absolutely right. Their ears are always on duty. They don't blink. So what you hear is sometimes more important than what you see. All right. And what you just did is a very good illustration. Once one team misses, the other team you don't have to ring in order to answer that question. That's yours alone. All right. Alpha, choose again.
Green things for 10. Green things for 10 points.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, up in New England every fall there are people known as peepers, and they go to look at what things that were just recently green. Pointer Ridge.
Recently green. Greenland.
Yes, sir.
Greenland. Greenland? No.
Not Greenland, no. Perrywood. Up in New England every fall, people known as peepers go to look at what things that were just recently green.
Clovers?
No, leaves. Leaves. They're called leaf peepers. Of course, the green is gone, and then they turn orange and red and yellow. And again, no need to ring that buzzer again. I know you want to jump in there. Alpha, advantage is still yours. Yes, sir. You choose.
Zoo Parade for 10 points.
Zoo Parade for 10. Teams, animals like rabbits and mice and prairie dogs have dozens and dozens and dozens of cousins because those kinds of animals fall where in a food chain? Be specific. Tell me about where they fall, Pointer Ridge.
Yes, sir. The food of carnivores.
Again?
The food of carnivores.
Food of carnivores, absolutely right. They are preyed upon. They are the prey, and the predators are out to get them, and they get a lot of them, which is why they got to reproduce so much. Green, go Philip. Good answer.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, the bill of this bird, which is the biggest compared to the size of the bird, normally associated with the cereal Fruit Loops, and that big bill is used for cutting fruit and regulating temperature. Pointer Ridge.
Toucan.
Toucan, that's right. Toucan Sam. Go Green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, a recent movie title didn't say whether they were Cirrus or Cumulus or some other variety, but whatever they were, they produced meatballs. Pointer Ridge.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Rain clouds.
Clouds is right, absolutely right. Clouds, that's what we wanted to hear. Good, go. Philip.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Team, strange but true. The First Lady in Japan claims that she traveled aboard a triangle-shaped UFO to this nearby planet where it's very warm and it's all enveloped in clouds. Name that planet, Perrywood.
Venus.
Venus, good answer. Good comeback there, young man. All right, Red, go. Alpha.
Green things for 5 points.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, this squash can get so colossally big that choosing one for Cinderella's coach is not beyond the imagination. Pointer Ridge.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin, that's right. There was one the other day, weighed 1,000 pounds. They needed a couple forklifts to bring it up. Go, Green.
Body system for 10.
Body assistance for 10 points. Because so many of today's children sit in front of computers and televisions instead of going outside and playing in the sunshine, what vitamin is missing in a lot of children these days? All right, Perrywood, name the vitamin.
Vitamin E.
Vitamin E, no, good try. Pointer Ridge, because children are not playing outside in the sunshine as much as they should. They're staying too much inside in front of computers. They're lacking in what vitamin?
Vitamin D.
D, you're absolutely right. Good, which you can make from sunshine. You can get it from milk and dairy products as well. 85-65, close game. Green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please, if you would, for this question. The green things for 20 points. And this is going to be a multiple choice question when the picture comes up there for you. And the 20-point question involves this. This is called Spanish moss. You see it hanging from the limbs of that oak tree. This is a common occurrence throughout the South. That moss gets all of the nutrients, all of the moisture it needs from the air. It doesn't have to trouble the tree at all. Because of that, does that make the Spanish moss a bryophyte, a parasite, or an epiphyte? Which of those three you may answer, Perrywood?
Epiphyte?
Epiphyte is exactly right. Just like an orchid, it gets all that it needs. It does not need to parasitize the host. And with that, we come to the end of the first round. We'll add your points in. Our tally at this point as we go to our first break is Pointer Ridge 85, Perrywood 85. Tie score. What a great game. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. As I said at the top of the show, this is the beginning of our elementary competition, and this is our 24th year here on the air on channels 96 and 38, and we really appreciate you being here with us. Before we get back to our questions, let's find out a little bit about our 6 young scholars playing our game today. Let's go first to Perrywood, the Perrywood Panthers. And Alpha, tell us about your school. Who's your principal?
Miss Poole.
Miss Poole, out there rooting for you. And you have 2 sponsors, don't you? Who are they?
Miss Shirey and Miss Jones.
And they're the best. They've been sending us great teams year after year after year, and I know the hard work they put in to get you ready. And Alpha, did you have an alternate on your team?
Yes, Bhavana Puri.
And that's Bashkar's sister, and we'll see Bhavana in just a few moments. Alpha, tell me how they made you the captain of the team.
Well, I just really wanted to be, and they thought it would be best if...
And see, you know, when you really want something and you've got the talent, sometimes you get it. I'm really proud of you. You're doing a nice job over there. What do you want to do when you get older?
Be an engineer. An
engineer. I bet you'll be successful at that. And in your spare time, what do you like to do?
I like to play video games, sometimes play soccer with my dad out in the field.
That's great. I'm sure he enjoys playing soccer with you. And Bashkar, you play soccer as well, don't you? And you like to read. You told me you like to read novels. And what do you hope to do someday?
I hope to
Be a lawyer.
A lawyer, yeah. He told me he likes to argue and he wins his arguments, so he's probably headed in the right direction. Do you and your sister have some rivalry when it comes to school? Do you both try to outdo each other, or do you help each other a lot?
We just sometimes get a little competitive, but mostly we're helping out each other.
Sounds like a normal brother-sister relationship to me. I will be anxious to meet her in just a few moments. Charles, you like to make toys, don't you? Yes. And you'd like to be a professional toy maker, work for Mattel or somebody like that when you get older. Tell us one of the toys you've made.
I've made a fire truck.
Mm-hmm. Out of what?
Wood.
Wood. And does it roll or does it just sit there?
Roll. Rolls,
all right, all right. You got some physics going on there too, so you're a creative young guy. Keep up your good playing. Pointer Ridge Panthers wearing their matching yellow t-shirts over there. Philip, welcome to the show and tell us about your school. Who's your principal?
Miss Stevenson.
And I know she is very excited that you're here. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Reedy.
Miss Reedy. And this, I believe, is her first year. And I know she's been anxious to do everything just right and get you ready for today. And she did all the right things because you're playing real well. Tell me about yourself. Tell me the Philip story. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to play video games. Sometimes I might play with my best friend outside.
That's great. When you get older, what do you see yourself doing?
Being a paleontologist.
Paleontologist. So you like dinosaurs?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you found any fossils anywhere?
No, but I've gotten to actually see one in the dirt, but I never was allowed to pick it up.
Yeah, you have to be very careful, you know, when you extract those so you don't damage them in any way. That sounds like an exciting field when you get to it. Zena, nice to have you here. Young lady who wants to be a veterinarian, right? And I told her she was like the dog whisperer because she says every time a dog comes near, they just naturally gravitate to you. So what is it? Is it your calm manner? Why do you think they like you so much?
I don't know, because sometimes my sister says it's because of my smell.
Ah, okay. All right. And what do you do in your spare time?
I like to go outside and play kickball with my friends.
Good, good. Rosanna also likes animals. And you used to have some pets, but they've all gone on to heaven, haven't they? Yeah, you're waiting to get some new ones there. What kind of pets did you have?
They're just some kind of old goldfish.
Old goldfish. Oh, goldfish, don't beat yourself up. They don't last even in the best of times sometimes. Tell me what you do in your spare time.
Sometimes I read or write.
Read or write. That's right. You wanted to be an author, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've written some stories already, and I think that's just great. You keep that up and write a little bit of each day, even if it's just a small amount, and keep a diary. It's always good practice. Keep up your good work. Get back to the game. Pointer Ridge 85, Perrywood 85. Last correct answer came from the red team. So Alpha, start us out again.
Dateline science for 5 points.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams. Paleontologists recently found a mini-me version of this most famous of all predatory dinosaurs. They called it Raptorex, related to what other one? Pointer Ridge. Yes, sir.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
T-Rex, that's right. Good answer. Go green.
Science potpourri for 5.
Science potpourri for 5 points. Some of you remember that Barack Obama got in trouble because he swatted and killed a fly on TV during an interview. Just last week, Pope Benedict XVI swatted what kind of arachnid off his ear? Perrywood.
Spider.
A spider. There was a spider crawling up that white robe, and they were thinking, oh my gosh, you know, and he went, phew. He didn't kill it though. Go red.
Body systems for 15.
Green things for 15 points.
Green things for 15. Teams, the seeds of these trees that are often associated with maple syrup look like little helicopters. What's the name of those trees? Those would be the maple trees, like in maple syrup. Go red.
Zuparade for 15 points.
Zuparade for 15 points. The lions in Africa are coming down with a disease called canine distemper. They're not catching it from dogs. They're catching it from what dog-like relatives on the savannah that oftentimes are laughing. Pointer Ridge.
Hyena.
Hyena is absolutely right. Yes, indeed. Good. Thank you, Rosanna. Go, Philip. You have a 5-point lead.
Science potpourri for 10 points.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, a lot of cities name their newspapers after celestial bodies. In Superman, it was the Daily Planet. In Annapolis, it's the Annapolis Star. In San Jose, it's the San Jose Mercury. And in Baltimore, the name of the paper is the Baltimore what?
Sun.
Sun is right, Perrywood, absolutely right. Good answer, young man. Go Alpha.
Body systems for 15 points.
Body systems, 15 points. Teams, on your skin you have 5 different kinds of receptors: for hot, for cold, for touch, for pressure, and one that sometimes if you push too hard, you go, yow! What's that receptor for?
Sense.
More so? More information?
Pain.
Pain is absolutely right. That's what we're looking for. Go Alpha. Thank you, Bashkar and Charles, for your assist.
Dateline science for 10 points.
Dateline science for 10 points. Teams, the coldest spots in our solar system are not way out on Neptune or Uranus. They're close by on the moon at the bottom of what depressions on the lunar surface where the temperature is minus 400 degrees Fahrenheit? What are those depressions called? Perrywood?
Craters.
Craters is what I want to hear. Good. Go.
Let's get physical for 15 points.
15 under Let's Get Physical. Teams, if you're thinking of getting a car powered by this gas, you might remember what the comedian Robin Williams said about the Hindenburg, the big blimp that was filled with this gas and blew up. What gas are we talking about, Pointer Ridge?
Helium.
Nope, not helium. Perrywood, what kind of gas, turn that light out, Perrywood, what kind of gas might go into a car? Be careful, though, because it's very explosive, as we witnessed with the Hindenburg.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. Hydrogen fuel cars. That's what we want. Good. Red, please. Go, Perrywood.
Science potpourri for 15.
Science potpourri for 15 points.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, look at the monitor, please, in the studio for this question, if you would. Most of you know about the Hubble Space Telescope. It recently sent back pictures that were spectacular, like this one. This one is a nebula that is named for what kind of lepidopterous insect? What insect do you see there? Pointer Ridge.
Butterfly.
A butterfly. That is the butterfly nebula. Good, Philip. Nice answer. Good. Green.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, this famed American is credited with inventing bifocals, a wooden stove, and demonstrating that electricity...
Thomas Jefferson.
Not Thomas Jefferson. Perrywood, this famed American.
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin is what we want to hear. A lot of people confuse them. Good comeback there, Alpha. All right. Lightning is a form of electricity. That's what he demonstrated with his kite. Go. Red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 25 points.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, listen carefully. Photosynthesis takes place in a leaf in the palisades layer cells, which are just beneath the outer skin of the top of the leaf. The outer skin of a leaf has the same name as this layer of your skin. Can you give it to me for 25 points, Pointer Ridge?
Epidermis.
Got it. Good for 25 points, and we have almost a tie score right now. It is Perrywood 155, Pointer Ridge 145. Very close game. Advantage green.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points, teams. Rousing a bat from this state during winter can prove fatal because bats have just a limited supply of food. What state should you not rouse them from during the winter? Perrywood.
New Jersey.
No, that's a good answer. It's a good answer. I'm not talking about a specific state. Pointer Ridge. Bats should not be roused from what state during winter because they have a limited food supply? What do you think, Phil? Say something? Correct answer is hibernation. Hibernation is what we were looking for. Try again, please. Green. Still 10 points down.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25 points. Teams, talk about your fairly odd parents. If your mom is a horse and your dad is a donkey, you're going to be a what?
Calf.
A what?
Calf.
A calf? No, you're not going to be a calf. Pointer Ridge for 25 points. Talk about your fairly odd parents. If your mom is a horse and your dad is a donkey, you're going to be a what? You're going to be a mule. You're going to be a mule. That's how you get a mule. Mules themselves are sterile. Go again, green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, if you watch cartoons, you know Popeye the Sailor Man, the strong guy. He must have a really weird exercise routine because he's got huge forearms.
Spinach.
Not spinach, good try. Remember the category, body systems, Pointer Ridge. Popeye the Sailor, strange exercise routine, huge forearms, but this muscle in the upper arm that you use to make a muscle is very tiny on him. Philip, what muscle is that?
Biceps.
Biceps it is, yes indeed. That's what we want to hear. Green, go.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, at 15,000 feet up, most people will pass out because there's very little oxygen up there. People who don't have very big lungs, and they also have large numbers of RBCs. RBCs are what kinds of cells? What kinds of cells? All right, Pointer Ridge.
Red blood cells.
Red blood cells is what I want to hear. That's exactly right. Go, Pointer Ridge.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, if you want to keep the inside of your refrigerator from smelling from rotten food, put in a box of sodium bicarbonate, which is better known as what substance? Better known as what substance, Perrywood?
Can I let Charles answer?
Certainly may.
Baking soda?
Baking soda, that's what I want to hear. Thank you, Charles. Less than 2 minutes in our game. Go red. Alpha.
Let's get physical for 25 points.
Get physical for 25, the big one in that category. Teams, two-part answer. Listen, there are two thermometer measuring systems. Only at minus 40 degrees do they both equal. What are the two kinds of thermometer measuring systems for 25 points? Perrywood, can you tell me?
May I let Bashkar answer?
Bashkar, yes, sir.
Fahrenheit and Celsius?
You got them both, Fahrenheit and Celsius. That's what we wanted to hear. All right, we have only 4 questions left in our game, only a minute and a half. Our score 200 to 190. Red, Alpha, choose.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, doctors are now using gene therapy to cure a disease that has you confusing red and green. What's that disease called?
Alzheimer's?
Not Alzheimer's. Perrywood, a disease where you cannot distinguish between red and green is otherwise known as what? Yes, sir.
ADHD.
Good try. Color blindness. Color blindness. Red again. 3 questions left. Alpha.
Dateline science for 25 points.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, 2 famous scientists, Jonas Salk and Albert Sabin, fought together in their research labs to come up with a vaccine for what crippling disease that put people in iron lungs back in the 1950s and 60s? Can you name that disease? It is polio. Polio. Try again, red.
Science potpourri for 20 points.
Science potpourri for 20 points. Teams, we now know, all of us, because we hear so much commercial activity, the difference between seasonal flu and swine flu. But they don't like to call it swine flu. They like to call it what, Perrywood?
H1N1 virus.
H1N1 virus, that's exactly right. The buzzer says our game is over. It looks like Perrywood has done it. We'll double check that score and be back with you in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to Science Bowl. We hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here. It came down almost to that very last question. That testifies to the skill of these 6 outstanding young people. We are proud of all of them. Our final tally today is Pointer Ridge 190, Perrywood 220. Perrywood, congratulations, Charles and Alpha. And Bashkar, you played a beautiful game. And Bhavana, I know you're proud of your brother there. Miss Jones, Miss Shira, you always send us great kids. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next round. Let's see some smiles over there. You guys played a super game. The Panthers roared over there at Pointer Ridge. Rosanna and Philip and Zena, thank you for being here. Miss Reedy, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the experience and you'll come back again because we loved having you. We loved having you too. See you next time on Science Bowl. Bye now.